Did they let her pay them? Like at my son's school, they're like, oh no, the money has to be at the end. You can't pay with cash.
Like, so crazy. I mean, I'm sure it's changed. I guess.
They can't have it.
Yeah, we were allowed to.
Oliver was like, look at Keelan. I'm like, ah, that was the place where I always would stop. Yeah, right before my shift for work.
I learned how to do this. I'm finally lived in Key West.
It was good.
The key lime pie always looks like every time I'm in Paris, it looks so good. And I'm like, but I hate key lime pie. Like, I just
Really?
don't like it. I don't like it.
Oh,
And every
love
time I
it.
see it, it almost looks like a cheesecake. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's maybe today's the day. And then I'm like, oh wait, it's not cheesecake. Never mind.
How can you not like Keelan?
Oh, I think it's because it's like fake tart. It's like a bad margarita. I don't know. But they have a coconut cream pie. Ooh, so good. I did not need to have tried that because now I can't stop.
I bet. Sorry.
And the mango salad that you guys had too.
Remember the ding dong cake? Excuse me. There's the little ding dong cake.
I don't remember those.
Yeah, Todd made it big. We had a pretty good house party over at my daughter's graduation with the house. Todd made it all like this big. That's not good.
That's good that he likes to bake and cook. Oh, the mango cheese squirt.
All right, guys.
Cream cheese. Oh, remember you made it? Come on, hold out. Yeah.
I'm done. To the MLS, switch the way that their system looks. And when I tell you, I almost just.
Jana, can you see if I can hear you, please?
Can you hear me?
Nope, I can't hear you. Give me just a second. Stay right there. I don't want to start a presentation without audio.
I did sign in this time to 6th Avenue.
She's just checking things out today.
Like, we're just gonna have a visitor and you can sit at the head of the table. Yeah. And yeah.
Okay, Jan, again.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I got you.
Okay.
Just want to make sure I can hear anybody in case they say something. All right, guys. Well, it is 10 o'clock, a little after 10 o'clock. And so we are going to go ahead and get started with our meeting. I was going to introduce Highland Homes, but since people are still coming in, I'm going to go ahead and do the core value, and then we'll give the floor to Highland Homes so that they've got maybe a couple more people. Let me go to here. Okay. Let's go here. There we go. Let's start with the core value. Okay, so this week we are going to do our mission and vision as opposed to just a regular core value. So our core purpose, what we do, we help people find and create a home that feels like them. Now, whether this is for 6th Ave Homes in general. So this is construction, this is design, this is pool and outdoor. It's also storytelling because they need a home in some of their marketing as well. Obviously, we're looking for people to have homes all the time. So, is it going to work? Nope, not going to work. Okay. Our mission, why we do what we do, creating homes, building community, real estate with soul. It's not working, y'all. My thing is broke. My computer is not doing like it's supposed to. It's supposed to advance and it's not doing it. Okay, vision, where we are going. To encourage home ownership and make all components of the residential real estate process, design, brokerage, lending and construction easier, more accessible, and more enjoyable than ever before. We accomplish this by providing access to the best one-stop shop real estate experience across the state of Texas and a curated team of experts that provide unparalleled quality, value, and customer service. There's one extra thing that I want to just kind of hit. We take extreme ownership for both the success and failure of any project and role we are tasked with. That is something that I personally take to heart on a daily basis, because if I'm working with you guys, if I'm working with my clients, if I'm working with the brokerage leadership, if I'm tasked with something, I have to take complete ownership of it. Otherwise, I don't complete it. So that's me. I hope that you guys feel that sense of duty as well. We're going to talk more about duty and what being a representative of a client representation actually looks like later in the meeting. There's some new stuff coming out from NAR and from the new legal team that we're going to hit just briefly. I got 2 slides on it. So let's back up and let's talk to Highland Homes now. Ginger, you want to bring your team in? Ginger, Julie, who else is out there? Don't come on in.
Hello.
Ginger, I'll let you take the wheel and
All right.
drive away.
All right. That was in the short hair. That house, that picture's so old. Okay. Hello. I'm Ginger, Highland Homes. I am currently in Wildflower. This is my partner, Julie.
Julie, I'm the other
Yes,
person on
that's
there.
her, that's her right there. We have Lane from Walsh and we have Monica. What is your current neighborhood?
So I'm like a hybrid. I'm in
Right.
Glen Hollow and Waxahachie.
Okay.
But
Y'all are gonna hear it first. She's taking my seat to Bolo Park.
Yes.
Because Bolo Park is coming back for phase 5. There's only 40 lots, 50s product. The model appears to almost be finished.
Yes, should be
Yeah.
done decorating at the end of this month. I don't have a start in the model, but maybe early April, but we are excited.
Super excited.
Very happy there.
There is one inventory home remaining of our classics that I used to sell over there. So it's a 27 square feet, 3-bedroom study, knocked out, highly appointed, very pretty. Call me,
Yes.
call me, make you a deal. So who wants to take special interest rates that we're doing?
oh well,
Lane.
so we have a couple cool things that we're doing across the board with Highland. We've got a $20,000 Highland Home Loans, kind of like, you know, if you use our lender, then you'll get $20,000, which is actually kind of cool because of that 20, they can still use their own lender and get 9. And so we very rarely will pay an outside lender, but in this case, it's 20,000 with us, or it's, you know, 9,000 with Bank of whoever, right? But on top of that, if there's certain homes that could close by certain dates, and he even can incorporate some houses that are frame or foundation, we have these fixed rate promotions going on. We're like they announced another one yesterday. It's 5.25 for the first year. I'm sorry, 5.25 fixed, but the first year is 4.25, and then 5.25 fixed for 30. So no funny monies, no balloons left and right. We've got those kind of coming on board each week. They seem to be buying more of these funds because it's all for DFW and San Antonio and Austin and Houston. So there's a chance for buyers to get like a fixed 5.25, 5.4 rate, which will save them about, you know, what, $600 a month.
Yeah.
It's about 70,000.
Yeah.
Total, but
And this is
just
for
know,
all loan types.
all loan types.
FHA, VA, and conventional.
So we kind of have I think a one up on that. So hear other builders talk about, hey, first year, you know, and then I just so 1, 2, 3. So your first year is whatever, then it's up to 6.5%.
the standard rate.
So we definitely have that. So just know that can help your buyer jump for give them that $60,000-$70,000 differential on the sale price.
Can y'all go through with neighborhood? I'm just not as familiar what price points y'all start at.
I've got your
got
sheets
that
that you sent me.
Okay, never mind.
You want to,
We do want to talk about that.
So this is Wildflower Ranch. This is our inventory home. So we will start, we have our minimum homes are gonna start right at the 400 mark. But then we sell, Ginger and I co-sell together, and we sell both 50s and 60-foot wide lots. So we have a really broad product that ranges from 1,600 square feet up to about 4,000 square feet. So we can range everywhere from 400 to 700 at Wildflower, just depending on the house and the lot size that we're on. On that note, at Wildflower Ranch, and then we'll move on and let Lane talk about, Walsh and Monica talk about her communities too. We are in the northern part of Fort Worth. We are in this right at the south end of Justin. We're in Fort Worth technically is our address. Right off 114, just north of the Alliance area. It's a really good location if you have buyers up there. It is in like an area that's blowing up. We've been in Wildflower Ranch on a 50-foot wide lot product now for over 2 years, but we have now added the 60-foot wide lots, and we have some of the best lot positions now that we've ever had and probably will ever have out there. We have greenbelt lots, we have park lots, oversized lots, a lot of cool topography. It's not a grid kind of formation neighborhood. So, and it's a great little neighborhood with the lazy river and a new pool coming and trails, but it doesn't have a super high HOA. It's only $825 a year. Usually master plans are quite a bit more than that. So it's a good opportunity for someone that's in that North Fort Worth area, and we can still get them in a house in the low fours if that's, which is pretty hard to do these days on quality new construction. Okay.
And that sheet that's up there is out here for y'all.
Amazing.
Is there-
Yeah, go ahead.
Are these the same ones?
It's like 3 pages.
We
Yeah,
have-
that's all she sent me. I'm sorry. It's Ginger's fault.
We have 2 phases and we had to take down a lot of lots. So we have a lot coming, which is great if you got people, because using those advanced commitment loans really requires it be an inventory house, because those loans, while they're a great opportunity, you do have to close within a certain time period. So a build job is back on the 20K kind of promo. You can't get a home built in these advanced commitment loans. Some of them though will extend into August, I think is our latest one. So you can have some pretty not advanced inventory. It's still, as long as you move in summer, it can still take advantage of those interest rates. Usually you go to the builders where it says, oh, it's whatever rate, it's a 30-day, 60-day max.
Are y'all building a tree line?
Yes.
Okay. Are
It's a-
y'all gonna be selling there too, the 2 of you?
We
No,
are,
that's Anna.
Anna
Okay,
McMillan's,
yeah, okay.
it's a 45-foot wide product.
Yeah.
Front entry garage. It's a cute little neighborhood, but
Yeah.
it's just brand new.
Yeah,
Is
she's
it-
been selling.
Is it like Maybach, car names?
I don't remember what the names are. We've never sold this. I'm not.
Have y'all heard anything about the tariff stuff? Is that going to affect your prices soon, or do we know yet?
We don't know.
yet.
Okay.
Immediately, we started getting questions about this, but we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it will take a while for it to probably filter down
Yeah.
into what you guys are building, especially if you've got stuff under construction. You've already got stuff, you got sticks on the ground.
Part of what we did during COVID was kind of cool, was our purchasing group would just buy these, kind of forward commitments on lumber, on sheetrock. So we kind of had it set for at least, 6, 9, 12 months.
Yeah.
So our guys are pretty smart, so I'm just trusting them.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So
We
you,
try to diversify that since then and try to buy stuff that's mostly sourced in the United States.
Oh.
okay, really? That's good. That's good. That's good information.
Probably first time homebuyers, but.
Okay.
Y'all want to talk about your other neighborhoods?
Yeah.
Please.
So I've got Walsh, and so talking about partners not here.
Sorry.
Somebody's- It's like Imagini or whatever it is. Okay. Was that Bewitched? She does a little. So we've got inventory too, and we actually have 3 pages as well out in Walsh. So we're on the west side of Fort Worth, as far as you can go until you get to Allido, Toledo. We've got townhomes, we've got 50s, we've got 60s. So I've got kind of the same concept of 400,000 to right at 900. So we've got kind of everything ready now to ready in August, September. And then Walsh is we're in our 3rd phase. We're gapping out, so we'll have this year probably to finish up phase 3, and they're already working on phases 4, 5, and 6, and they're going to be as large as phases 1 and 2 combined. So just know lots of inventory out there. We've got the amenities. We have a lot higher HOA than that, but we mow your front yards. And we have-
It is the super steroidal neighborhood too. It's got everything.
It
It's
is
like
a-
living in a
it's like
resort.
a-
Yeah.
It's
People
like
call
the
it
home plantation.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
without
the
the
gates.
outdoors.
There you go, Granbury. People call it like the driving into like a snow globe,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stepford's how I heard of it. It's so perfect.
But the townhomes are awesome. We do have a set of townhomes that are down by the village area where the pools and amenities are. It's at front courtyards. And so, talk about walk score. The gym is like 100 feet in front of you. The market, the gas station, the cookies, all that.
Maker space.
Make your space all around you right there too. So we have about 20 of those left, and then we'll be done until the next phase. We have no idea if we're going to bring townhomes into the next phase or not. Won't tell you what I think about that, but we'll see. But anyway, but yeah, that's Walsh.
Okay.
So I don't know, I'm like way down south to be here, but we're. gonna
Where?
move up. So, well, I'm in Waxahachie.
That's not too far. We've got a lot of people that work that area. You're actually in our
Okay,
wheelhouse.
awesome. So our build time is crazy there. It's 6 months. So we can make forward commitments when they go into
Yeah,
August
that's
or
nice.
December.
So nice.
So
Can't
I'm
do
able
that
to
in
do
Fort
that,
Worth.
which is pretty
No.
awesome. Yeah, our permits are
Wow.
like same day and,
Oh my gosh.
my tax rate's ridiculously low. It's 2.05. My HOA dues are only $5.50 a year. There's a PID, but it's $5.57 a year. It's silly, but I have a pool, I have an amenity center, there's walking trails. We're gonna close out my neighborhood club Del Hollow. So, I tell everyone I'm only married to my husband, not the houses. So let's see if we can make a deal here. We're getting really aggressive to finish this neighborhood. So it's always the best time to say.
Where are you basically located? Tell us in relationship.
287 and 77.
So you're just west of Waxahachie?
I'm in Waxahachie.
You're in Waxahachie, but just west of downtown?
Okay, I'm a woman.
When you go to Piggly Wiggly, which way do I turn when I go out of Piggly Wiggly?
There's a Piggly Wiggly down
I-
there? Okay, you're fine.
You know where Tom Thumb is?
I'm sorry?
You know where Tom Thumb is on 77?
Sure.
In North Road?
Uh-huh.
I'm one exit over.
Okay, very good. Very good. I grew up with a Piggly Wiggly in Paris, so Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. yeah, exactly. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Any questions? Anybody? Thank y'all for breakfast number one. That's so. Thank you for being our partner here at 6 Ave. We love you guys. Let's all go out and sell a Highland home this weekend. What do you think? Let's go sell a Highland. Thank you so much. I'll put all of these. Hey, if you guys will email me your inventory sheets, send me your stuff. I'll put it in our Slack channel so that everybody can see it.
I don't know if any.
All right, thank you guys. Appreciate you.
I know we're not, I mean, they weren't, it's like shooting to lie. So if you could get one of those, I mean, just-
All right, let's move on down the line now. All right, so I saw this the other day and I had to share it with y'all because it's just too funny.
Maybe. Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious. Because has that ever happened to anybody?
Oh, yeah.
Where you were in contract and somebody bought something and they can't qualify anymore?
Yeah,
Well,
they
were
luckily
still able to qualify, but yes.
Yes. No, he quit his job.
Oh, that's awesome.
Closing, and he was like, "What?" Oh, he got mad. He called me. Like, the lender called my employer, and we're like,
Yeah.
"Call the DOE."
They did that right. Twice.
I just thought that was really funny. So I had to share it with you guys. Thursday night on Instagram. All right. So next week we've got Radicans coming with Don Majostic. The Reach Out email campaign is being postponed until March the 26th. That's when we're going to roll that out for you guys. No meeting on 2 weeks from today. That's spring break for me. I will be in Tennessee. And so there will not be a meeting. If y'all want to come up here and hang out together, come on. That's fine. I'll even join your Google Meet if you put one on. But actually, I'll probably be at Dollywood that day. So, or in Pigeon Forge someplace. But so that'll be no meeting there. Town Hall is coming on March the 27th. That's a Thursday. It'll be a lunchtime thing. It's going to be close to here is the plan right now. We still have not finalized it because we literally, the leadership team spent yesterday up here moving everything back into the office. So we did not have a meeting yesterday. But we will get that finalized. It'll probably be at one of the restaurants here in near Southside. So close to where you're used to coming, but it'll be on Thursday at like 11:30. 2 days left to vote for 6 Ave Homes on. If you haven't been voting every day, I'm going to give you the QR code in just a minute. So we'll do that. It's time to update your information about brokerage services on your email signature. I'm sorry?
She's telling on herself, maybe.
Well, just go pull one out of your whatever platform you use for your documents. Print it as a PDF, fill out your information, and then post it and put a link to it on your email signature. PDF. Print to PDF.
Yeah. I was like,
Put it in your Dropbox or Google Drive or whatever you use for your stuff, and then link it into your signature, just like I did on my site message this last week.
make sure you make it shareable if you do it.
Yes.
Google.
Absolutely. That's always a trick, isn't it? Yeah.
Quite awesome.
Well, and so I rearranged some of my Google Drive about 3 months ago during Christmas. I rearranged some stuff. All my stuff quit working. Everything that I've been sharing for years had just totally quit working. So I had to go back through and relink everything. That's always fun.
On our Instagram business.
Yeah.
I mean, we're on everything. We
Is there a way to-
Yeah, we have it on TikTok now.
Yeah, you highlight it. So you post it to your story and then you can add it to a highlight and then we have it right under our bio and it's under a highlight check docs. Consumer notice and IBS.
Yeah, Consumer Protection Notice and the IBS
Any of
should be
that.
on all of your socials. And if you need help doing that, please contact Holly or Tasha.
not as much.
Contact Holly. Contact Holly.
Wrong.
Okay, here is the QR code for voting for the Star Telegram Fort Worth favorites. Please, if you haven't been voting every day, please go vote for 6th Ave Homes. It would be great. Yes, the town hall is on the office calendar. It should be on Thursday, the 27th, I think.
It is on.
Is that what I told you? Yeah, 27th.
So Thursday the 27th.
Yep, Thursday, 27th, 11:30 usually to 1:30. It's about 2 hours. I know that's hard for Danielle because she's got Remington that day, but
Yeah, won't be there.
oh, come on.
You can just bring him.
My goodness. Fun for everybody but me.
Just turn him over to Clarissa.
That'd be fun for us. I'll give him my 18-year-old. You want me to bring him?
I told you we can trade anytime. We can wipe it on us, right?
Okay, let's talk about the market. Okay, so I got to move a couple things here on my side.
Argue that.
Okay, so pending home sales slipped just over 4% in January. National Association of Retailers noted it is unclear if the coldest January in 25 years contributed. If so, expect greater sales activity in the upcoming months. If y'all didn't hear, the last 3 months is one of the coldest periods that the United States has gone through in like close to 50 years. Just December, January, February was really, really cold across most of the country. So they think that that's probably hindering some things with home sales and with retail sales as well. Weather could also explain the 10% drop in January new home sales, as the South saw record low temperatures and record high snowfalls. However, the median sales price is down 3% and supply is up over 270% since 2022. Yeah, that's a giant increase. Closely followed Case-Shiller Home Price Index went up a tick in December, up 3.9% annually. Fannie FHFA price index for homes with mortgages backed by Fannie and Freddie went up a moderate 4.5% annually. Review of last week, Wall Street remains uncertain about how the new policy environment will impact the economy since it just went into effect, today the 4th, that went yesterday. So we'll see how things play out in the next couple of weeks with the tariffs and how that's going to affect us with Canada and Mexico. Volatility was sent one major index up and two down on the week. The data made it easy to stay unsure. Negative vibes come from January's drop in spending, February's fall off in consumer confidence, and an unexpected bump in weekly initial jobless claims. On the plus side, the Fed's favorite inflation measure, the core PCE, dropped 2% in January. Durable goods jumped 3.1%, and earnings are up 18% from a year ago, the biggest quarterly gain in 3 years. The Freddie Mac's primary mortgage surveys reported the national average 30-year fixed mortgage rate continued to drop, hitting its lowest level in over 2 months, and we'll actually come back to that in just a moment. This week, we're looking at construction spending, manufacturing, services, and jobs. But what we see in construction spending this week is going to be different than what we see in construction spending a month from now because of the tariffs. So this is going to be something we're going to be watching here to see how these builder prices are being published and how they're being portrayed. I think it's very evident with what Highland Homes is doing with their mortgage rates, offering 5.25%, first year 4.25%. So they've got a lot of inventory. They're ready to sell. If you've got people on the fence and they're thinking about new, what do you do, Tasha, when you write a buyer representation agreement? How do you do that? Do you talk to them about if they buy a new home, there might be an incentive?
No, I'm a new construction person.
Okay. But when we first started this process, you had a problem.
Oh, yes, make sure that you put your bonus in there.
Okay. Or you need to go back
Or
and,
have the discussion that if they're going to, they may incentivize them and they incentivize us to do business together.
thank you. That's what I was hoping you would say.
Together.
That's what I was hoping you would
Well,
say.
I mean, we started out in HEB. I didn't think we were gonna go to Haslett.
Okay. But I think that that is a reasonable thing that all of us need to be doing is if we're talking to our buyers, oh, you're looking in HEB, you're looking in Alliance. That's great. Let's go look. But if we go see new construction, there is a chance that the builder might give you some incentives. They might give me some incentives. So I might have to ask you to sign paperwork if we decide to buy a new home where I get a bonus and you get a bonus. That's a conversation that you have up front.
It's always great with this incentives and interest rate to tell them over the course of owning that home that they will save tens of thousands.
Mhm.
They get those reduced rates.
I think that's a great conversation.
Then they really don't care about your bonus.
Exactly. January construction spending should come in the same as December, although it's going to be weather dependent because it was so cold and there was a lot of builders sitting around doing nothing while it's 0 degrees outside. Both the manufacturing and services index are forecast to show economic expansion in February. Economists predict modest February gains in non-farm payrolls and average hourly earnings and no increase in the unemployment rate. You're asking, why do we care about non-farm payrolls? Because those directly affect mortgage rates. If directly, not like the, when you say, what's the Fed rate? They're going to lower interest rates. When people say that, that's not a direct correlation to us in mortgage. Non-farm payrolls is a direct correlation because it directly affects the 10-year treasury note, which is what we base our mortgage rates off of. So I know I give you guys way too much information on this stuff. I know it goes over your head, but if you'll watch it week to week, it will begin to make sense. The more you hear it, the more that you'll see these things, and then you can talk intelligently to your clients about, oh, they're going to drop the Fed rate. Well, that's great. They're going to drop the Fed rate, but the mortgage bankers have already figured that into their numbers. So do you remember the last time they dropped the rate? Mortgage rates went up. And everybody went, what? Why did that happen? Well, because there's a lot of other things that go into this that do not actually directly correlate to the Federal Reserve rate that they're lending on for the banks. Make sense? Okay. All right. Here's the Federal Reserve watch from last week on the left. Look at that June 18th date down at the bottom on the left. You can see that last week they were saying 58% of the people thought there would be a drop in June. Now 81% are saying a drop in June. That's the Fed rate. We have to pay attention to it because it's kind of like Zillow. All of us have to go look at Zillow, even though their numbers, their estimate is so crazy to me. It's crazy.
Zillow because I want to know what consumer sees.
Exactly. You have to know what they are seeing and what people are thinking. It's like when you see a commercial on TV, you need to be aware of that product because it affects something that you do, whether you buy it or not.
Well, I do maybe like the top 5 homes.com, Realtor Zillow, and I do those so I can put that in the objection.
There you go.
My house is worth.
Zillow says it's worth this. And I had a great conversation with one of my sellers that went out and that you did the open house on. So they had them priced at a certain price point. I don't remember off the top of my head, but as soon as we listed it, that price went from like 710-ish up to 760 within 10 minutes. And I sent pictures because I took a picture of it and sent it to my clients and I go, watch this. And then we listed it and I sent them another picture and I go, you just made $50,000 according to Zillow. And I think it's just hilarious to watch how they do that. Okay. Mortgage rates today, about 6.7. I talked with Ryan and Ryan Stewart over at New American Funding. And I've talked to Sean Russell, and both of them are running a little bit lower than the national average, about 6.5, 6.6, where the national is at 6.7. And I pulled that this morning at 5 a.m. when I got up.
Sounds awful.
Huh?
Sounds awful.
Well,
Silly day.
5 a.m.
Okay, so
this
is Ryan's. I'm going to read this to you because you can only see part of it. So Ryan's comment on the market for this week was in like a lion, out like a lamb. It certainly feels like we're starting out the last month of the first quarter with a roar. Rates are being cooperative, some too. The next Fed meeting isn't to March 18th, 19th. So until then, we anticipate rates to remain steady, although no cuts are expected. It'll be economic data like the jobs report or consumer spending index that will give us any rate fluctuations for the foreseeable future. It's a good time to follow up with those waiting for the right moment, as current conditions may be just right. I have people that I've been showing houses to in Little Elm and Louisville, driving from Saginaw. It's an hour and 30 minutes. I've been showing them houses for almost 2.5 months. And I told them, you need to be under contract before spring break, because after spring break, you will be in multiple offer situations in these neighborhoods. It's not going to be like that everywhere, but there will be certain pockets where multiple offers and you'll be paying more than list price for a lot of these buyers. So this is a great conversation for you to have with your sphere of influence. If you're not going through and calling your sphere of influence or texting them or emailing them or taking care of them, please do so. If they're thinking about buying, now is the time, because in 2 weeks, it should start picking up significantly. And it will be like if it's traditional market, like we always see, right after spring break, I'm going to list probably 5 houses. And so is everybody else.
And I feel like it's already happening. Like, it feels earlier
Early,
this year.
yeah.
I agree with
They're
you.
insane.
I agree with you. But I think that the buyers that are smart are buying now
Yes.
before that happens, because that's when it's going to get a little nuts. Anybody other comments? Anybody want to make? I don't care. No, please. Comments are great.
I'm like, I think a lot. Is it actually?
Everybody except Taja can make comments.
Don't sit behind me, because now he's got both of us right.
He doesn't have to look for
Yeah,
trouble
I have
anywhere
to
else
straight
in
his
the room.
neck.
Okay, avoid thinking sales and service are separate. Sales is service. Selling should be about helping your prospect make the best decisions for their needs, focus on the value you provide, and selling becomes a seamless extension of your service. Did you know the MBA, the Mortgage Bankers Association, said purchase applications were up 3% from the same week last year, increasing for sale inventory has provided prospective buyers more options as we approach the spring home buying season. Exactly what we've been talking about for the last 10 minutes. Okay, so now we're going to go a little bit deeper and higher at the same time. So you guys know what the 10,000 foot view is, right? It's where you get above a problem and you look at it from a big perspective. This is going to do that, and it's also going to get very micro at the same time, because we're going to talk about the difference of the actual definition of what buyer representation is. It's important that we realtors here at 6th Ave understand this. Break it down and get back to the core of what buyer representation is and what it isn't. Starting with the fact that the NAR settlement requires buyer brokerage agreements, but it does not specifically require buyer representation agreements. This distinction has not received the attention it deserves and underscores a larger issue. Many real estate professionals do not truly understand the meaning of representation. True client representation comes from fiduciary responsibilities, including loyalty, confidentiality, providing advice and guidance, and acting in their client's best interest. In contrast, working with a customer typically involves facilitating a transaction, disclosing facts, and operating with honesty and reasonable skill and care. If they didn't teach you in school and you haven't had the realization, it's important to distinguish people between a client and a customer, because there's really 2 different ways that those people are handled. Customer is somebody you meet at an open house. If you're hosting an open house, somebody comes through, that is a customer. You can have a great conversation with them. You need to be facilitating a transaction, disclosing facts with honesty and reasonable skill and care. That's completely fine. But somebody that you're taking out to show a property to, if you've got a buyer's representation agreement in place with them, and you should, because you're showing them a house, even if it's a single short form showing form, those things, that's loyalty, confidentiality, advice and guidance, and acting in the client's best interest. How many times have you acted in the client's best interest over your own?
Every day, quite a bit. Yeah.
Good.
Well, I think there's yes, I know buyer's representation, but to have someone sign a buyer's representation, the role you should be taking on, I think, in my head, is like a guardian. Like, I'm the guardian of their interests.
Mhm.
So it kind of plays out to be a little bit different than I'm just representing you. I mean, I'm supposed to sort of be the buffer between, the transaction and even their own thinking.
That's usually
Coming alive
that's
a
usually
lot lately.
yeah.
But yeah,
And,
it's sort
and
of a guardianship, if you will.
I love that. I think that that's a great way to put that. How does anybody else take that? What are some such, one thing that I always think about, because it's the easiest to think about, is, okay, so we're going to look at this house and I've got a buyer rep at 3%, but the seller's only offering 2%. How does that work? How do
I'm still
you,
gonna show the house and still take 2% if that's the house they're gonna choose. And then I'm not gonna go back to them for the 1%.
I just did that with, a client of mine. I mean, they've been clients of mine this is my 6th transaction with them over my entire career. And I'm like, I am not going to
No.
go for this 1%, because they've sent me referrals, they have dealt with their kids. I mean,
Well, it's just like what I put on Slack the other day. I mean, the house that my buyers really truly probably meets all of their needs is the one that was gonna pay me a $2,500 referral fee, which by the way was from a builder. And then the one that they're probably gonna offer in, they're offering 3%. She's like, no, we're doing the 3% one to get the one. Although I know they can make the difference, I'm not going to go back to them and be like, hey, but make it the difference of 3% to $2,500.
Mhm.
Well, and I mean, I think so much of what we do is just mindset of you're building a business. You have to stop being transactional. 2%, 3% on this deal. If you're going to build that advocate client and you're going to go to the mat with them over commission,
Yeah.
that's a dead end road. That's a dead end relationship.
Yeah.
You have to think abundantly that, this person, you're the hero, you become that person indefinitely. Because there are people that indefinitely would not even think about it. They would pay me more than another agent just because they trust me.
Yeah.
absolutely. Jana, please come on.
Well, and I think I agree with pretty much everything everybody said. Definitely under the umbrella of it's negotiable, and that means it's negotiable on our behalf as well. How much work is going into this? And you have to think about those things. Some things it's pretty easy to just do a flat fee. I've done 4 transactions with one of my clients right now, and I'm doing a flat fee on the sales side. But if I'm a buyer's agent and I'm driving all over the place and we're working for, looking for a very specific property and a very tight time frame, or even in an extended time frame, there is criteria that it just costs me more to do those jobs. And I think it's all negotiable. And as long as we're transparent and authentic with our clients and just saying, what's fair, doesn't mean I'm going to say I won't do it for 2%. But we agreed on 3%. Let's at least meet in the middle. How do you negotiate that? And have something in your back pocket and have a clarity of mind about how you're going to represent yourself. And that does speak to them about how you're representing them as well. I've heard it said many times, if you can't negotiate your own income, then how are you going to negotiate the sale of their home? So I'm just doing devil's advocate. I'm playing on both sides of that. And it doesn't mean that I've never, taken less. I certainly have. You have to do sometimes charity work. Sometimes just what's best for them to get through it. But there are ways to represent yourself as well. That's my 2 cents.
Thank you, Janet. Very, very well said. Okay. This is the rest of what I'm pulling this from is one of the NAR attorneys. This is one of the things that they dove down into, I guess is the word. A responsible agent in these situations should say, remember, I do not represent you unless we sign a contract that specifically says that I do. My role is to facilitate a transaction between you and the seller as a neutral party. I cannot provide advice or opinions, nor should you share confidential information with me until you choose to have me represent you as your buyer's agent. That's just a simple conversation. I think all of us probably have that like right here at the back of our brain, at the back of our throat, ready to say those words, but simply stating it in something similar to that makes that relationship solid. You start a relationship with a client on solid ground. I'm going to represent you. I'm not just going to transactionally make this work for you. I'm going to represent you in this transaction. The last thing she says was the introduction of mandatory buyer agreements is a step in the right direction, but there's still work to be done. Brokerages and agents who provide true representation, educate consumers, and articulate the value of expert guidance will ultimately stand out. I'm just going to tell y'all, I think we already do this at Sixth Ave. I think that's evidenced by, I don't know if you guys watch the real-time data numbers that I put in Monday night's email. Be sure and click that link sometimes, but we're ahead of where we were last year, and last year was the best year Sixth Ave ever had. So I just want y'all to know, we are doing well. We're not going to tout all of those things every week. I'm telling you, you guys are doing great. Everybody stay at it. Everybody keep working. Stay the grind. Stay doing the calls, notes, pop-bys that you've been trained to do. Those things actually work. The CMA thing, just to let y'all know, I haven't put that back in the Slack channel, but I got 2 more leads on it. After Clarissa's beautiful, wonderful suggestion that I go to the other people that I hadn't sent CMAs to. And I've got a listing appointment coming Tuesday night.
I got, just after that video, I got like 3 leads in 2 days.
Yeah.
So.
Outstanding. Loved your video you shared with me of the follow-up.
Well, I had to do for my CMAs, I did a follow-up video to be like, hey, no, don't ignore me. I do have a question for you because I have called Kaya Monday and I told her, can you help me? But I didn't have to have her help me. But if I have a signed buyer's agreement and I can't make to show like one house, does she need to have them sign like a one pager just to be like, I know you have an agreement with Tasha, but 000, like Tasha's going to compensate me here. Okay. I just want to make sure because I didn't want to send her
I
out
thought
there.
it was with the brokerage, not
It's-
the buyer.
It's with the buyer.
No, I'm saying it's the buyer and a broker.
It is, but it's individually on her. So like if she's showing a client for her, I would, just to be
Just
safe,
the showing, you can do
the short form.
the short form and do the
Just the
tour,
showing.
just the
Yeah.
showing service,
Zero.
not the representation, and just say,
Yeah.
this is just.
I'm helping my friend, I'm helping my fellow agent out. I just need y'all to sign this. It's just super simple. And it would be great if the two of y'all, if y'all are doing that together, for you to work together and you send it to your client and on behalf of her.
Yeah. I
Or
was
is there a way to put, I mean, not that that's a super normal thing, but like, is there a way to put in our representation
something
form
like-
somewhere that we can just say, you know, Sixth Ave?
any other agent
And
from
I'll
Sixth
ask about
Ave,
that.
something like that.
Just to.
'Cause I mean, I
cover
just,
us.
Monday was like a, off, like
Yeah.
calls are called, they do x-rays, blah, blah, blah. And I'm kind of like, already have an appointment. And I'm like, okay.
Well, like I just
Well,
helped
I'm gonna call.
Hannah with a buyer
Mhm.
and I showed them all their houses, like, I showed them all the houses, but she had the buyer's rep. So,
Yeah, I understand. And that's going to happen. It's,
no, I mean, we just also.
She's with the same brokerage.
That's what I'm saying.
but you have the buyer's representation agreement is with the agent.
So it's really with the, I thought it's with the brokerage.
The listing
Uh,
agreement is with the brokerage.
Huh?
The listing agreement is with the. brokerage.
Absolutely. The listing agreement is different. Let me ask about the buyer rep.
Yeah, I would say, I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah,
Because if I need to write something in my buyer's rep agreement,
Yeah,
that says in addition.
I'll follow up
to,
with this afternoon.
I'll go ahead and start putting them in
Oh,
there.
just add it in there that there may be an
Yeah,
agent from our.
I
Yeah.
just wanted to make sure that we were compliant.
Understood. We just don't want to do that. We don't
Back
want,
to that one, though.
you want to go back to that one? Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I've always had buyer's reps signed. It's just, I always felt like it was part of my job. I mean, that's what I'm supposed to do. So I like that we have to do it now because before I would have, I would show them a couple houses here or there, maybe go a couple weeks without having it signed. Sometimes I would have it signed when we were putting in an offer, but I actually really like the fact that we have to do it beforehand because it makes it so much more transparent. You get all of that stuff out of the way. It's almost like it's not almost, you're creating a business relationship with your clients that you feel like, okay, now they're going to work exclusively with me. They know what I'm doing for them. So I like having to do it.
We always should have been doing it.
Yeah.
We always should have. But I mean, it is what it is. There's not a single person that's been doing this for a long time that hasn't run out and show a house without a buyer rep. We've all done it.
Yeah.
Okay. I went back and I know y'all pushed back on me last week when I talked about this, but we've got 36 listings and there are 10 that have this set up.
I'm so proud of myself. I have an idea, it's me.
So, and some of it's you don't need, I get it. Some people, the people that have rental houses, that's up to you if you were to set up a list track for that or not. But I think that it's really good. It's just a conversation. It's another touch with your client that you don't have to do. That's the beauty of it. It's just a simple touch that's automated. And that way you don't have to do anything with it. The flow chart has been approved for us to put on your listing on Transaction Desk. You can put this. I am still waiting. Check this out. So the other part was, can we put a Word document or PDF in Transaction Desk that says, this is a broker to broker transaction, or this is a seller to broker transaction? Can we put those words in a document and put it on Transaction Desk? I took that to Greater Fort Worth. They don't know. So they emailed Netris, who has not responded to us whatsoever. So Greater Fort Worth was reaching out to some of their other sources to see if they could approve that wording where we could say in a Word document, broker to broker or seller to broker.
Well, can you put it on this form to
That's what I
say,
was about to
be
say,
sure
yeah.
to ask the listing agent which direction you need to go, or be sure to ask the listing agent if this is broker to broker? Like, can't you put that at the very top? Ask this question to me, call me, or
You could call me. What?
maybe?
Like, you want a choice 1 or choice 2?
Yeah, and you could probably put this on here and circle one of these, and they would probably never be the wiser of it. We're not advertising a BAC. We're not talking about compensation here. We're talking about contract structure.
Yeah, yeah.
That is, and that is so important. If you guys, if you've been writing contracts or been taking contracts, it's such an important conversation because it eliminates most of the things you're negotiating in a contract is going to come down to page 10 or paragraph 12. It just is. Everything else, the sales price, yeah, you're going to negotiate that. But this is the main thing that we're having a problem with. I'm seeing the most pushback from other agents because they haven't seen this.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, they don't know that this exists. And so I just send it to them. Just send it to them. But there's not a reason that this can't be on Transaction Desk. This chart, which is linked in your Monday night email, there's a link there that takes you to the Texas website, TXR website. You may have to sign in to your NAR credentials to view the TXR because those two are combined now. TXR and NAR they use the same credentials. So when you click the link in my Monday night email, it'll take you to NAR's log in there, and then you can see this form and download it. Keep it on your computer. The cheat sheet is still very viable. I'm still on the brokerage announcements channel. This is still an easy way to do it. I think the flow chart, some people are visual, some people like words. So
I'm visual. I love it.
well, these are two options here for you to understand what you are trying to do. That's it. I'm done.
Oh, wow.
Questions? Okay, did we have more comments or questions about the buyer representation, the difference between a client and a customer? Okay, good.
I have one question. You said everybody go in and update their IBS. Has something changed? on
Yes,
this?
very new.
It is. Okay.
There's a new wording at the end of paragraph 1 and paragraph 3 that says compensation is negotiable.
Okay.
That's the only change. Everything else is exactly the same. They added 2 sentences, but those 2 sentences help us comply with the NAR summons.
All it says is buyer commissions negotiable, sellers.
Mhm.
is negotiable.
It's negotiable. So it's just being more transparent with the general public. But yes, you need to have your IBS and your CP, Consumer Protection Notice, CPN. And you'll notice, well, we just moved back in, so they may not be out there right now. Not yet. But we keep those. We have to put the CPN, the Consumer Protection Notice, has to be displayed here in the office, which is why we keep it over there on that thing over there, because it's law. It has to be there. Any other questions for you guys? Don't forget about if I call you or text you about licensing, about renewal, the license classroom is in the Monday night email as well. The discount code is 6th Homes, and it's the same training as the CE shop, but it's cheaper. And I took one of the classes. I made them give me a class, so I took the broker class on it for free. I said I want to see what it does, and it looks exactly like the CE shop. So, but it's like a lot cheaper. Like sometimes half, 50% off. Licensed classroom.
Oh, okay. That's.
But it's in the Monday night email. It's over on the left-hand side.
I thought it was, for some reason, I just assumed it was with the CE shop, and then I looked at their pricing, I was like, this is ridiculous. That makes more sense.
Yeah, the CE shop, well, the CE shop was usually cheaper than like Champions and other people. And so I always used the CE shop for years and years and years. And then these guys called me from Licensed Classroom and they're like, hey, would you like to try our training? It's cheaper. And I'm like, yeah, I'll try it.
Yeah.
And it looks exactly the same as what the CE shop does. Don't forget about the tax protest stuff from Gil Denson and Associates. That put that link in the Monday night email as well. If any of your clients would like to have them fight it, just for FYI, I did it last year with Gil Denson and they maybe saved me a little bit of money. I don't remember, but automatically they did it again this year. Automatically.
Oh, wow.
I just think it's a really great touch to get in touch with your peer after the CNAs.
Yep.
Yep. Agreed.
I've got. Slowly, next time I'll be live.
Thank you guys for being here today. Please take some food, go eat some more. They spend a lot of money on food. It's like $500.
They always do
I'm
that.
telling y'all, when I asked y'all to come eat food, it's because I have no knowledge that they're spending a lot of money. That's $532. That's why I need y'all here eating this food because I can't eat it.
Yeah.
Huh?
Not the price of eggs anymore. That's a lot of eggs out there.
It is. So, but please, y'all come. Thank you to Highland Homes. See you next week at 9:45 and for Radican and Don Matjostik. And I think so. Bye. Thank you for joining us online, Ashley, Jenna, Rachel, and Angela before she left. Thank you, ladies.
I'll give you.
I learned some stuff from him.
Yeah.
I was pissed when I was there. I wasn't CE. Let me tell you, I should have told it. Oh, I didn't know. I did. I was like, oh yeah, I finished my CE. And they were like, well, this isn't CE. What are you talking about? I was like, and then I was like, then why do I have to pay you? That doesn't make sense.